There we go. Oh, what a palaver today. Flipping heck. Oh, I haven't put my light on. Is that bright enough? Let me put this side on so that it's not quite so dark on this side. There we go. How you doing, ladies? Hi, Katie. There it is. Let's show everybody. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now I can see everyone who's here. That strobing will stop in a second. My light takes a little while to warm up. Oh, it's okay. I'm late myself because as I went to go live, that stupid browser parasite that I've got that keeps changing my homepage reset itself, closed down my browser, so I lost all my YouTube links because there's no way to get back to it. You have to be on that one page to hit the go live button, but there's no way to get back to that page once you close it down. It's a ridiculous system. But there's no way of getting in touch with YouTube to tell them either. They don't seem to care. If it's pre-scheduled, it's supposed to go live automatically, but it doesn't. And I've got a really sore throat today. I don't know what I've done. I think I might have slept with my mouth open or something. Oh. So I might get a bit froggy. I'm just trying to find my double-sided tape. I don't seem to know where my double-sided tape is right now. And I don't know why. Because it should be just there. Did I throw it in here? Nope. Oh well, I might have to do a bit of glue. I don't really want to glue it in. Double-sided tape is easier. It'll come off when I want it to, but just use this for now. Sorry, I'm chuntering to myself, aren't I? I'm just fixing a bookmark into my... No, a lie. I'm not fixing a bookmark into anything. I hate bookmarks. I'm fixing a doobly-doo into this because I keep losing my highlighter. So I thought I'll put my highlighter in the pen loop. Pen loop, that's the word I was looking for, not doobly-doo. So I put my highlighter in the pen loop, then I won't keep losing it. It's a bit too chunky to put in the zip wallet. The other pen is nice and thin. It fits in the zip wallet. There we go. That's much better. No, I won't keep losing it. Hanky is on its way to Vicky. Managed to remember to take that with me to the post office yesterday. Well, not to the post office. I took it to the garage and then I dropped into the post office while I was on my way home. You're tired. You went to your grandmother and dropped your mum off at the airport. Oh, shut off at a conference. Spent way too much time with your grandmother. Oh, I know that feeling. You're a Hufflepuff, Risha. Why doesn't this surprise me? Why am I not surprised to find that you're a Hufflepuff? Are you a Hufflepuff as well, Cody? Is that why you're waving? That doesn't surprise me either. I'm a Ravenclaw. Yeah, that's not surprising. Yeah, us bookworms. We can't help it. I have, let me see. Not including journals. This is just books, like reading books, not novels, but like textbooks and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's one in that drawer, 17, 18, 19, 20. I won't include that. I'll include one of those because that one I'll probably keep. 21, 22, 23, 24 books. Just within arm's reach of me right now. And that's not even any of my book. Oh, 25, sorry. 26, there's another one under there. That's, well, 25 are within arm's reach. I couldn't reach that one. I'd have to go around the other side of the desk. And they're all proper books, like these kind of proper books, look. That's not including like the half a dozen or so I've got books that I tear pages out of or anything like that. And my bookcases are nowhere near me. They're on the other side of the room. Which is probably why there's 24 books on my desk. I'm obsessed with books. And that's not even including the ones I've got on here. There's at least 80 on here. And I don't even have Kindle on there. Yeah, I've got Kindle on my phone, but that's all novels. I don't get textbooks on audiobooks. All my textbooks are on Kindle, except for my bullet journal. You got your bow at the Harry Potter store yesterday. Oh, you went to the Harry Potter store. Cool. That sounds awesome. I haven't done anything Harry Potter because it's quite a long way from here. You'd have to make it a day thing. There's no way I could drive down there. I could drive down there and then go there, but I couldn't then drive back as well. That would be too much. I'd have to stay down there. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You got the full set.
Yeah, came in a set. And I got something else too.
You got a wand?
I got a wand. Is
it a specific one to you, or is it... Did you go to Oleander's or...
No. It's just a store.
Oh, right. Because some of the stores, like the Warner Brothers store, it actually has an Oleander room where you can have your wand fitted for you.
This one doesn't. It just has all the wands there. And then you can pick them from just a regular Harry Potter or from the Fantastic Beasts. So I just got...
Oh, right. So the ones that appear in the films.
Yeah.
So whose is that one?
Professor Sprout.
Professor Sprout. Oh, the gardening lady.
Yeah. It just fit nicely in my hand, so.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic one, but it has some details on the handle.
Nice, isn't it?
And then it changes, it's lighter.
Yeah, I like that. It's like it's taken from like if you drilled into a tree.
Yeah.
Almost. That's really nice. I like that.
And it comes in a nice box. And then
Does it say what it is? Because they're like different things, aren't they? They've got like different woods and different...
I think you can look it up. It doesn't say it. It just...
Oh, is that a stand for it?
No, it's a clip you can with the name.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, like a dog tag. I like it.
This was the last one from the one from Professor Sprout.
That's cool. I like that.
So I was torn between this one, the one from Narcissa Malfoy, or the one from Luna. So those were my 3 favorites, but
Yeah.
I eventually went with.
I want either Luna's, or I'd quite like Remus's. Remus Lupin. He's my favourite character. I adore him. But he's a bloody Gryffindor. He should be a Ravenclaw. He should be a Ravenclaw. End of story. He's clever.
I think you have Gryffindor in you.
I don't have any Gryffindor in me at all.
Lies.
I have taken the Harry Potter tests, and I've done all the quizzes. I've done the extended quizzes. I've done the Pottermore, the original Pottermore, the updated Pottermore, the new Pottermore now. Every single time I come out at least 96% Ravenclaw.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have a little bit of Gryffindor in you.
Not a lot.
Well, no, but more than most.
I think everyone
1% maybe.
Thing in them. Everyone gets a little bit of everything, I think. I usually get either
I think
Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw.
I think Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin are the well over 75% traits. You've got more than 75% of that house. You end up in one of those houses. And Gryffindors are the ones that are more equally balanced. Because if you look at all the Gryffindors, they've all got, like, Hermione, lots of book learning, Ravenclaw, but she's also good at spells and herbs, Hufflepuff. She's also a bit sneaky and underhanded. She's not averse to getting illegal books out of the restricted sections, Slytherin. So I think they're all, yeah, I think Gryffindor is the balance between them all, to be honest. I don't know. I don't see myself as a Gryffindor at all. If anything, I would say I was Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I usually get
James Gryffindor. Yeah, you're definitely Gryffindor.
So
Sorry, Mika. Risha.
I usually get Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. Mostly.
Yeah, you're quite studious.
Yeah.
But you're a Libra, so yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but I don't know though. If that's not Hufflepuff, I don't know what is. That's what Hufflepuff means to me. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but.
Yeah.
Rachel's a Hufflepuff as well. You're surprised? No.
No, but it's like this store that I went to.
Oh, very nice. Maddie, leave your feet alone, sweetie.
So there are 2 in the Netherlands.
Oh, there's one in London.
And 1 in London, yeah.
Ooh.
And they have like.
There wasn't one in Bruges when I went to Bruges.
No, I think it's pretty recent, but they do have the official.
They've got all the official merch.
Yeah, like these are all the Fantastic Beasts ones.
I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts.
I like Newt. But
I haven't seen the new ones. I watched the beginning of the first one and I just couldn't get into it. The only thing I liked in the entire film up to, I can't even remember where I got up to, when he met that girl and they started doing strange stuff and I couldn't really figure out what was going on. The only character I liked up to that point was the Niffler.
Yeah.
So I just gave up watching it. I don't like him. I don't like that particular actor. I haven't seen him in anything I've enjoyed. So,
but I prefer the Niffler. I have a hoodie and a T-shirt.
Oh, they could have done the entire film about the Niffler, and I'd have been perfectly happy. I'm surprised they haven't done that as a kids' film.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I do like, seeing all the creatures. Not so much the story. I just want to see the creatures.
Yeah, I wish I could have hung on long enough to see the creatures.
Yeah. You get a Niffler plushie if you want.
Do you like the Nifflers? I would like a Niffler plushie to sit on my desk. That would be kind of cute.
Yeah.
They're just so adorable.
You also have a... Where is it?
Did you get 2 of those books so that you could tear bits out of it and put it in your journal?
No.
Oh.
I might just do it because it's not... And they have an online shop anyway.
Oh, because it's a catalogue, is it? More of a catalogue than a...
Yeah.
Oh, all the ones.
Yeah. It's 2 pages, by the way.
Oh, because it's all 3 films, isn't it? All 10 films.
Yeah. These are just from the Harry Potter, not the Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, cool.
2 pages full of ones. And then stands you can get for them.
That's very cool. I got I can't remember where I got it now. I need to see if I can find another one. I got a wand, but it's only a miniature wand. It's not like the size of yours. Yours is like a foot long or something. This was only like 8 inches long, but it wasn't actually a wand. The handle of it, you used it the wrong way round. So you hold the handle and it was actually a dip pen holder. So it looked like a wand, but you actually put the pen in the end of the handle.
What I don't know if I can find it in here, but what they have is like wands like this, about this size, and they're ballpoint pens.
Yes,
so
I've got one of those.
Is the cap, and then you pull it out and you write. So you have a tiny wand, but they only had Snape and Dumbledore.
Oh wow!
I was considering getting Snape, but I didn't like the design that much.
Yeah, I love Snape's character, but his merch is not very good. Although his Funko Pop is kind of cool.
I also really didn't like the Hufflepuff merch in the store. There was a lot more for Gryffindor, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw than there was for Hufflepuff.
Because I think because there isn't really a standout Hufflepuff. I mean, the only Hufflepuff who really stood out was Cedric Diggory, and he got killed.
Well, in the original, but now you have Fantastic Beasts with Newt, who is a Hufflepuff. The main character was originally in Hufflepuff.
Ah, okay.
So now they should come with more merch, but apparently not yet. Or maybe it's just too much into the Fantastic Beasts and not so much just Hufflepuff. Because you did find quite a bit of Fantastic Beasts, but apart from the stuffed animals.
Hufflepuff got a bit of a bum deal in the books. They were just kind of background characters. Everybody else that they couldn't find anything to do with just ended up in Hufflepuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, for those of you who've tuned in for an Astrology House chat, we are doing an Astrology House chat, but at the party the other night, we were going to show various different bits and pieces, and then Risha's been to the Harry Potter store and stuff like that. So we're just getting that out of the way before we start. Cody's going to show us her bats in a minute, which is cool.
Yeah, a lot of wasted opportunity.
It was, yeah. She really didn't.
Oh, Cody's showing
Cody, stop! Leave your foot alone.
Well, Cody's showing something too. Maybe you should spotlight her.
Yeah, she's going to show us her bats. Thanks for that, Risha. That's very cool. Can you post the link to the shop on the website on Trello in alumni so we can all go and have a look at the fun stuff? Ooh! Look at that. Is that wood?
No, it's ivory.
Antique, I assume.
I think it's bone. It's not tough.
Oh, ivory bone. Right, okay. So it'd be like ox bone or something like that, won't it?
I think walrus, but I don't know.
Walrus, yeah. Okay.
I bought it from a shop in Tennessee, and he hand carved it.
That's really cool. I'm sorry, Maddie keeps chewing her foot, and I've got to stop her doing it. Stop it, or I'll put your booties on you. Yeah. Little bugger. She's not allowed to chew her foot. I really like that. Look at that detail. Very nice. It's got it doesn't have Dremel marks on it either, so it looks like he hand carved it. Because like if you get like striations, like semicircular striations, that's where they've Dremeled it. But that looks like it's been hand carved. That's very impressive. Or it might have been etched with acid. They do that too, don't they? That's beautiful. Very nice. Bats! We love bats.
I have a bat silver ring, but I don't know where it is.
I think you've shown us your bat before, haven't you? That one?
Yes, last year.
Right. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to show anything while we're doing a show and tell bit? Anyone? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? Okay. It's not how you appear in society. It is your role in society. Not how you appear. It's how you are. It is all to do with social structure and where your place is in that social structure. Okay, so the other thing was, Mika emailed me earlier to say, we haven't had any suggestions whatsoever for something we can revisit in November and December. Not a goddamn thing. Seriously? There's nothing you guys want to go back over? Nothing we mentioned in passing that we haven't actually really addressed, or?
I need to go back, actually, because I haven't actually looked through my notes. I was a bit busy trying to get everything else sorted by Tuesday.
Okay, well, if you come up with something, I've got a week in December that I need to fill, but I've got 2 weeks in November to fill. So that gives you a little bit more time, Risha. You go through your notes and see if you can find something for us to do December.
Okay.
Anybody else got any? No? Katie, you're fairly new. Have you looked back through anything and thought, oh, I'd quite like to, I wish I'd been here for that? Oh, Krampus! Oh, yes, Krampus. Oh, that might have to be December, though.
I mean, I'm still just trying to catch up on all the house stuff, so.
Okay. What we could round off the astrology by doing an extra week this month of the astrology just to bring everything together. I mean, yeah, Saturday, we're going to do the wheel. There's no reason why we couldn't do a week of going back over all the bits from the wheel, you know, the signs, the mutable and cardinal and fixed. And
I would like that too.
I would, just because like trying to go, like it would take me forever if I try to watch all of the videos from the beginning of the year. So I'm trying to like come from the study guide.
Well, part of what we're doing next year, part of what Mika's sorting out at the moment, I'm going to offer astrology for the 3 years, but as a mini class. So it'll be the signs, the planners, the planets, and the houses, plus the core stuff as one big class. But all of you who've already done it, you'll just be added to those classes anyway.
Ooh.
And the core stuff will be included as part of next year as well, because the core stuff is the stuff that you have to know. It's the basics, like this is what a grand trine is, you know, that sort of stuff. This is what a planet is. This is what we call a sign. This is where it is on the chart, all that kind of stuff. So all the core stuff, it's just because we weren't organized. Sadly, we're finding out that there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been done. KK has not been well for a long time. But because she doesn't say anything and she doesn't complain and she doesn't, you know, she just gets on with the daily stuff, I've not really realised how much stuff has not been kept up with. And it's only now that Mika's going back through it that she's like, this hasn't been updated since January. You know, this hasn't been updated since last year. And she's going through it all and getting it all together. So I was thinking that I had all the links for all the 2018, 2017, 2016, and I don't have any of it. I've only got the stuff that Tracy did and the stuff that Caroline KK did right at the beginning when she first started. So I've got like a year's worth, and then the last year it's just kind of bits and pieces. And that's no dissing KK at all. She's wonderful. I love her. She did her best. I just wish she'd come to me a little bit sooner and said she was struggling. I know she had time off, but every time she had time off, she came back and she said, right, I'll just catch up now. And didn't really tell me that there was stuff that she wasn't able to catch up with. And I wish she had, because we could have got her help sooner. But, you know, c'est la vie. Mika's on it now. Her MC in House 10, Virgo, is having a ball. She's got Carol. She's roped in Carol. You remember Carol, her friend Carol. She's in the group, actually. She doesn't come to class. I think she works. But yeah, Carol, she's roped into to doing stuff as well. So I'm just letting her get on with it. But all of that stuff, hopefully, the point being, will be available over Christmas to me to be able to go through it and set it up as stuff that you can all have next year. But going forward, the old classes, instead of setting them up on Trello, which we thought was going to be a good idea, but actually it's going to be quite difficult to do. What we're actually going to do is just put all the information and PDFs into the video descriptions and then group the videos together on Vimeo and release a link for that. So you'll have a link and a password to be able to access that, and it'll be done through the website because there's members pages on the websites. So everybody who's already in the class or already done the class will get automatic access, and Mika will email you all with a password and link when it's available. So that will make life a lot easier.
I'm still working on organizing 2017.
Mika, who's not here at the moment, but for future reference, when you see this, it would be a good idea to set up a single Trello board with a card for each group or mini class that we set up on the website, so that I don't have to keep asking you for the links. So we'll have a little card for when frogs sing art stuff, when frogs sing astro stuff 2019, when frogs sing core stuff, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean. She's not here, so she'll see that later and she'll go, oh yeah, I've already done that. That's what she keeps saying. That's her catchphrase. Oh, I've already done that. Every time I go to ask her for something, she's already posted it. Okay. Anyway, where were we? Okay, let's grab the calendar.
One thing I wanted to say, it's about the class, but in the last astrology class, we didn't get to Jane because there was a problem with her chart.
Yes.
I added her chart as a picture.
Okay, that's fine. As long as I can see it, that's fine.
Because the link wasn't working last time. I did tell you, I mean, I put it on the card also, Jane.
You don't have to save it, Mara. It saves automatically. You just add it all and then close it down. You don't have to save anything. Sorry, Risha, continue.
But you did say that we had to start with Jane.
We have to start with Jane. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Okay, so adding
unless you
to
don't
the...
want to, obviously.
Sorry?
And I see Jane in the video going, unless she doesn't want to be.
Yeah, oh no, unless Jane doesn't want to do hers. That's.
But I just wanted to remind you because you told me.
No, that's fine. Thank you for that, because I didn't write that down. Okay. So December, right, we're doing House 12 recap. House 12 and recap I've written in for the 3rd. So let's move the recap to the 10th. So House 12 on the 3rd, House 12 chat on the 5th, the Astro Wheel we're on the 7th. So then the 10th through to the 14th, we'll do Astro recap. And we'll just do whatever. So I'll do a study guide that will just be the core stuff that we've got together from the houses. And then I'll do like would it be useful if I did like a worksheet for you to do your own stuff? because we've done it every week. But would it be useful to have one worksheet that tells you, you know, my Venus is in house 6 and that's in Leo or whatever? Oh, here's Mika. Okay. So overall house info. So like a crib sheet, and then you can add your own stuff. Okay. And then on the Thursday, we'll do a recap and chat and just go through it. So anybody who can see, anybody can see what they need to check or what they don't understand. And then on the 14th, let's just leave it open. Let's just leave the 14th open for more astrology. If we've finished everything, if we've gone through everything and you're happy and we don't feel we need to do anything, we'll just do some fun, because that's the last Saturday before the Christmas party. So we'll just do some fun astrological art. You could do a thing for your own star sign or something like that if you wanted to. Oh, I've got an idea, actually. I've just had an idea. What if we did like a 3-panel thing that was for your sun, moon and rising signs? Because that's your important ones. That's your key personality traits. And you can do that in your books, or you can do it as cards, or you can do it as a large piece of art or whatever. How about that? And then that includes going back over what we've done again. Oh, you're leaving. She's on the phone. Oh, okay. Hello, Miss Maddie. What's the matter? Did you hear a firework, Sweet Pea? It's not coming to get you. It's all right. It's all right. Don't do a fret. Don't do a fret. It's all right, Sweet Pea. Come on. It's all right. Nobody's coming to get you. It's all right. Sweet baby. Look at her shaking. Her shaking. The camera shaking is her shivering. It's all right, Bubba. It's all right, my sweet. Don't shake. It's all right. It's all right. Shh. You can sit there next to Mummy if you want to. Do you want to sit there next to Mummy? Yeah. She hates the fireworks. Never used to bother her when we had the cats. She used to sit in the window with the cats and watch them. But when the cats died, suddenly she had 1 year where she was on her own. Well, with me, of course, but there were no other animals around, and she suddenly got really scared, and she's been like it ever since. Scooby can't hear fireworks over the sound of his own snoring. It's all right, my love. It's okay. Don't do you a worry. You're a good girl. Let's try and get through this. It might not be easy with a dog under my arm, but okay, so that's December sorted. Okay, Risha, that means you're up for the 19th, the week of the 19th for November, since you've volunteered to go through your notes, but that gives you plenty of time to do it. So somebody else needs to come up for something for next week. I have an idea. What about, we've done divination stuff. Well, I'm a divination witch. That's what I do. Did we do an overall look at all the different types of divination, or did we only do tea leaves? I think we only did tea leaves, didn't we? Because we were going to start doing some other stuff.
And we talked about divination stones.
Yeah, the witch stones.
The witch
stones, right.
Right.
And I think we talked about pendulums, but we didn't go into pendulums.
No, we didn't. We did, what was it?
Runes. We mentioned runes, didn't we? Because I remember saying, there are runes and I don't know anything about them.
It was a bit in combination with the witch stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as it's...
I'll look it up anyway. Let's do another week of divination, because I want to do some more divination next year. Let's do a week of divination methods, where we literally we go through that. I gave you a list, didn't I, of different types of divination. I remember that. All the different types of divination, like psychometry and scrying and all that kind of stuff. And it gave you a definition of what it was. I remember that. That was just before we did tea leaf reading.
We did lithomancy.
We did
Lithomancy.
lithomancy. Lithomancy, yeah.
And then the week after that, we did divination stones in May. I can tell you the dates when we did it. I made an overview.
Oh, do you see that, Mika? Mika's going to be taking that off you. That's what she's trying to put together right now, is an overview of 2019.
Yeah, I went by dates and I color coded. Oh, yes, I color coded everything.
You're having trouble adding it to Trello. Don't worry, Mara, it's fine. I will dig out that list again of all the different types of divination, and we'll go through each one from the list and just chat about what each one is and all that kind of stuff. Because there's going to be stuff that, like, dowsing is a form of divination, which is water seeking. There's pendulum dowsing, all that kind of stuff. Some people will know more about it than others. Cody's probably got about 200 pendulums she can share with us.
I have one.
Only one. I've got about 7, but I only ever will use my necklace. And it's really funny because I saw some kind of meme the other day, you know, all these witchy memes that are going around, and it was like trash witch stuff, you know, when you can't be bothered to do it properly, using your necklace as a pendulum. And I'm like, that's doing it properly, excuse me.
It has your energy, so it would work.
Exactly. That's my point. It has my energy. I use my pentacle. Always have. But apparently that's trashy now. You've got to have a proper one.
I was
Make it
thinking
look
of
witchy.
using my dragon. I'm not wearing it right now.
Yeah, you could use your dragon easily.
Definitely, because it's tail like in a point.
Yeah. I like my pendulum because the way I do it, it twists. It doesn't waver, it twists, it spins. And it's easier for me to see which way it's spinning because it's a disc.
Mm.
Because depending on how you hold your string and how you do it yourself, you'll either have it swinging or circling, or it will just stay. Mine never moves, it just spins. It's fascinating to watch. You have lots of divination stuff. Of course you have lots of divination stuff, Cara. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, I think you've shown us that before.
Yeah.
That looks familiar. Yes, because it's got the chakra stones on. I remember. That's pretty, that one. Very nice. Big, heavy, chunky thing. You can make a pendulum super easy. We could do that. We could talk about how to make a pendulum and stuff.
I would be all for that because I'm definitely relatively new to the whole witchy journey, and I've just been like slowly getting things here and there. And
that's going in next year's make witchcraft sections.
Because I would definitely like rather use what I have and make stuff instead of going out and buying stuff. Because
absolutely.
I'm on a budget.
A common thing, especially I found with male witches, is to get a old out-of-date coin from the year you were born. So it's no longer modern currency. What do they call it? Retired currency. But from the year you were born, drill a hole through it and put it on a chain. A lot of men do that. Cody's got one as well. Yeah, I have too. In fact, mine is Is it in here? I literally just saw it this morning. Oh no, it's over in my little dish over there with my perfume. Risha, Mara needs you. She's stuck. You got several pendulums, but it isn't one of the ones that makes sense to you. So it turns into a toy. Right. Yeah, you can make a pendulum out of anything. If you have a necklace that you wear all the time that's quite heavy, you can use that. My little pentacle isn't that heavy, but because it spins, it doesn't need to be. But you want something heavy, like a crystal necklace or something like that you wear all the time. All right, let's put making a pendulum on next year's witchcrafting things. And let's spend the week of the 12th to the 16th looking at all the different types of divination. And perhaps we can come up with, perhaps we could come up with 12 to do next year. How about that? She's at it again. More shinies. Oh, that's nice. That would work well as a pendulum.
This is what I end up using.
Yeah, that looks like more of a workhorse. The other one is a bit fancy. That's what you, the other one is what you pull out when people say, have you got a pendulum? And you go, oh yeah, look at this. That's the one you actually use. Yeah, I like that one. That's nice. Okay. Let's get to the astro stuff. Can make runes. I don't know runes. I would have to look up runes myself, and I'm not really into runes. I use witch stones, but I don't use runes. We covered witch stones. That was a really interesting session. Okay. So we just need Risha to come up with something for the 19th to the 23rd, and we've got the whole class set up for the rest of the year. And we've got some ideas for next year as well. Cool. Thanks, Risha. Sort her out. You can book, you know, if you're struggling with Trello, Mara, and how to just do bits and pieces, you can book Mika for a session and she'll walk you through how to do it. There's a video on how to do it as well that you can probably just follow. Okay, House 11. Who's done the research for House 11? Tumbleweeds. Who already knows about House 11? I'm sorry, I've got an itch. It's not even my wig is itching. I've got a ingrown hair or something in my scalp. I hate that. I'll have to pull that out later. Cara did the house. Cara's new and she's done the homework. You guys. Risha gets time out because she's been busy this week. She said she wouldn't in advance that she wouldn't have time to do it. The rest of you, you're all in trouble, okay? You're all in trouble except Jane. Jane's been working her ass off doing double shifts. I'm surprised you're here, actually, Jane. I didn't think we'd see you now because this is your busy time of year, isn't it? Frozen pavements and people getting drunk.
It's only because I'm off sick now.
Oh, you're off sick now. Oh God.
They sent me home today because I'm barking like a dog. So
yeah, the last thing they want is you passing that around to the patients who are vulnerable.
So I'm out. So that's why I'm here. Whee!
That's cool. You get a week off.
No, I got tomorrow off, and that's it. Back on Saturday.
Not if you're still coughing. You nurses have strong immune systems, though. You get over stuff fast. My grandmother was a nurse. She was like a bloody horse. Nothing ever came anywhere. Everybody else around her could be dying with the bubonic plague, and she'd still be wandering around going, "No, I'm fine." She used to
This is
be
my first
You-
time
is it?
sick this year. My first time.
first time this year. Wow.
Mm.
My grandmother was the head nurse, the matron of the ward on the
Oh.
midwifery section of the Royal London London Royal United back in the day. In fact, she was in London during the Blitz because she sent my mum and her brothers to go and live in Bath, which is where we all grew up, because she moved there after the war. But during the war, she was in London in the Blitz at the London Royal
Wow.
United. Yeah. She had the big cape and everything because she was a matron.
Now the matrons, they're in bright red now. And
Yeah, they look like
they're
cardinals
scary.
now, don't they? But my
Yeah, they
gran
are
still had
really
her cape, and it was that big, you know, the big heavy Little Red
Mm.
Riding Hood, but blue
Yeah.
on the outside and
The blue,
bright red
yeah.
on the inside. Oh, it was gorgeous.
And the big
She was
hat.
completely white from head to toe. She looked like Nurse Ratched.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
The modern matrons now, they sort of sit up in an office and because CCTV's on every single ward,
Right.
they watch and then they come down, they're like the devils. Doctors run. They just run.
Oh God, when doctors are scared of them, you know there's something going on. My grandmother was like that though. Everybody was scared of her too. She ran the hospital.
Oh, yes, and I'm so glad that the matrons do because things get done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scary women.
Your grandmother was
great.
a nurse as well. Yeah, she's strong as an ox, your grandmother. With the attitude to go with it. Yeah, I think they have to. They have to be that kind of, you know, that like when it said, what's that Granny Weatherwax quote? That always reminds me of my grandmother as well, actually. But I'm a bit the same. Crowds partied when she walked past, mostly because she was like the prow of a ship and would run you over if you got in the way. That's what matrons are like. Right. Okay. House 11. So we've established that the only person who's going to answer questions today is Cara, because Deb's not here. Okay, let's start with mine. I actually know what's in my house 11, amazingly enough. My house 11 is in Scorpio. Not surprising. And it moves into Sagittarius, where I have Neptune. And it's pretty evenly split, half and half. House 11 is... It's Aquarius and it's Uranus. It used to be ruled by Saturn. When Uranus was discovered, Uranus was allocated to it. So technically it has a dual rulership, but mostly it's Uranus now. Saturn, Capricorn, is personal duty. So Capricorns love work because it's their duty, if they are the breadwinner, to be at work earning money. Never met a job they didn't love. You know, Capricorn's very duty driven, very hard working. If they start a job, they're going to finish it. Aquarius Saturn is more kind of, we have a duty to the everything that's not us, but including us. It's more, well, I always say Aquarius hates people, loves humanity. That's what we're like. We're community driven. We care about the earth. We care about technology and advancement of science. We care about inventions and changing things for the better and making life easier and better for people. We care about not so much social justice like Libra. Libra is very much social justice, caring for the underdog, making sure, you know, women's rights, etc., all happened during a Libra thing. That's more personal. That's for a select group. Aquarius is more about world rights. You'll very rarely, very, very rarely find an Aquarian who is in any way consciously racist or sexist or whatever. You know, my goddaughter, she used to be my fairy goth daughter. I'm her godmother, but not godmother because we're witches. But, you know, I used to call her my fairy goth daughter. Well, she came out as aromantic asexual a couple of years ago. And she just messaged me and said, I'm now known as this. I'm aromantic asexual, identify as them or they. I'm like, okay, very goth thing then. So that's what I call them. I just call them my fairy goth thing. It's a name, if you like. Thing. They're just a thing. And they're okay with that because it identifies it, and it's me understanding that they identify as that. Does that make sense? You might want my 20. Oh, yes, Mika. Risha's done a whole organization of everything for herself, of everything we've covered in 2019. You might want to grab that offer because that'll be really useful for organization. Although I'm fairly organized with 2019, but it would be, she knows exactly what we've done. Useful. So, people who are 11th house heavy, as in you've got something in your 11th house, it tends to be generational, it tends to be general, and it's societal driven. So we're the people who keep up with the times. Uranus, Aquarius, technology. We're really into technology. I have Neptune in Sagittarius. Now, Neptune is about dreams and illusions and can be very vague. It can be to do with disillusion as well. So it can be a little bit of a double-edged sword. But the key thing with Neptune is that it tends to be daydreaming, kind of, you forget that some of the things that you're coming up with are simply not possible. Okay. Yes, it would be lovely to go and walk on Pluto, but let's get back to the fact that we've only just walked on the moon once. Okay. Style it down a bit. Let's, don't shoot for the heavens. There's nothing wrong with a dream, but let's make it a goal. You know, a dream. What is it they say? A dream is just a wish without a goal or without a plan or something. Sagittarius, of course, is the goal maker. So although I have big dreams and big ideas and big kind of, oh, we could do this, we could do that. How about this? How about that? You're familiar with that phrase. I actually do get a lot of it done because my Sagittarius goes, okay, we came up with that idea. Now let's make it a goal. It might not happen immediately. It might be far flung in the future, but eventually it will happen. We like to change things. We like to improve things. A lot of Neptune House 11s are inventors. Ian Fleming, Alan Fleming, Alexander Fleming, that's the one, not James Bond, the one who invented penicillin or discovered penicillin, whichever way you look at it. Einstein was a Neptune House 11. You know, we're the big dreamers, but you've got to be able to pin it down to a goal. So, Le Book, for those of you who haven't seen Le Book, you don't have to have this, but if you're interested in getting into the houses in a big way, this is the one to get. It's Aquarius Press, The Houses, and it's a Liz Green book. Liz Green is amazing. I love Liz Green. And Howard Sosportus, which is one of her students, actually. interesting fact, Liz Green is the mentor of, I suppose you would call him my astrological mentor, my teacher. Okay, so 11th house. If you start at the beginning, Aries, I am. You are oblivious to anything else that is not you. And as you go round, you start to, Taurus, notice your stuff. Gemini, house 3, notice stuff you can learn, things you can learn. Aries, brain, use your brain, learn stuff, discover stuff, that kind of thing. Then you make a family, or you realize there are other people around you who are your family. House 4, Cancer, couldn't think of the word. House 5, you start to problem solve. Where do you put your stuff? How do you learn how to use your stuff? How do you distribute stuff amongst members of your family? That kind of thing. So it's all personal. Leo, house 5, problem solving and creativity. How do you create stuff? How do you make new stuff? How do you change stuff, invent stuff? Virgo, moving into daily routine, having some kind of organization, having some kind of plan, some kind of goal. And then you come out of your little inner circle into the outer planets. So outer houses. So you move out into from your little home and family that you come from, you move out into house 7, which is relationships. You start your own family, you go to work, you make friends, you have a social circle, and so on. And then obviously house 8, problems arise. Scorpio, how do you fix the drama that goes on with having other people around? How do you work out in a communal house whose stuff is whose? How do you allocate work in a team at work? All that kind of stuff. And then Sagittarius, house 9, what do you learn from that? And how do you grow and move forward and make new discoveries from what you've learned? And how do you implement that? House 10, your MC, your place in the world. What should you be doing with all this information you've gathered about you, the people around you, the stuff around you, what you've learned, what you discovered, the problem solving you've come up with, the creativity you've got, your friends you've got, the work you do? What should you be doing? What is your place in the world? That's the MC in house 10. So 11 is not just about you anymore. What if it was about everybody? Not just your little team, not just making things better for the people around you, not just making things better for yourself, but what if you could make things better for the world, for mankind, animal kind, all of that stuff? You're also branching into, not quite into religion, more into philosophy. It tends to be very existential in house 11. Putting things forward for the good of all and coming up with that, you know, do you save one or do you sacrifice one to save many? So it's that looking for the underdog, helping the underdog, but at the same time, not disadvantaging everybody else. It's very much, Libra is about having equal rights. Libra will fight for equal rights for transgender people, for instance. Aquarius will fight for equal rights for everybody. Everybody is equal. We shouldn't have any division. And because we are all equal and we see everybody as equal, that's where the planet, that's the point that we move forward from. So it's strange because I don't see skin color. I think that's part of the reason why a lot of the time when I'm trying to do art and I talk about different skin tones and stuff, I never know what words to use because I don't see it as being different. to me, it's no different having dark skin, light skin, yellow skin, brown skin, freckled skin, whatever, than it is that I'm a redhead and Jane's a blonde and Rish is a brunette. That's how I see everything. And I don't care, you know, unless somebody's got really nice hair and I go, ooh, your hair's a really pretty blue. I'm not really interested, you know? And I'm the same with, like, I'm obsessed with black people who have that really, really ebony skin that it just looks like polished marble. I'm so fascinated by it because it's beautiful. And I always want to go up to these people and say, your skin looks so beautiful, you know, but of course you can't do that because other people see it as racist to do that because you're singling out somebody who's black. And it's like, I don't see it as somebody who's black. I see it as somebody who's got really beautiful skin and I want to compliment them on it, you know? So I get in a lot of trouble with things like that because I genuinely don't see it. My colleague at work, I got on with my colleague at work really well. We sat in the same office for about 8 years, just us. We somehow just had this connection where we could tell each other's moods. So we just knew. We never fought over who was going to make the coffee. Were we going to have coffee or tea today? Who was going to go and bring the milk in? There was none of that because it just was obvious. I could tell from her mood, today's a tea day and she needs to be left alone. You know, I could tell if she needed a chamomile tea. I could tell if she needed coffee. She was the same with me. She knew when I was starting to run out of caffeine, and with it, by the time I had thought, God, I really need a coffee, she'd made one. You know, we were really in tune with each other. And one day she started talking to me like she looked terrified. She was white as a sheet. She said, there's something I really want to tell you, and I've never told anybody else other than my immediate family. Nobody else knows except my partner and my family. And I really want to come out to somebody, and I think you are the person to do it. I said, okay. What? And she went, I'm transgender. I used to be a boy. I was operated on at 16. Basically, as soon as I hit puberty, I was already on hormone treatments because I knew that early on that I should be a girl. And I had the support and I had the counselling, and I transitioned, I think she said, into female life at about 7. Even people I was at school with didn't know I was a boy. And she said, yeah, that's me. I'm a transgender female. And I don't remember it, but when she said it back to me, she said, you didn't even blink. There was like a beat, and straight away you said, well, that explains why you're so damn tall. And that was it. She said, from that point on, I knew that you just accepted it. It didn't matter to you. You didn't care. You didn't see me as anything different. You didn't want to ask questions about it. You were just like, oh, fair enough. And apparently that really helped her with coming out to a few other people later on. But literally, it didn't matter because that was still her. It didn't matter what she had been, or it was no different to if somebody had come and said, oh, you know, I was in prison once for theft. Oh, big deal. Okay. It might have been a problem if you'd been a serial killer. But other than that, it just didn't even occur to me to have any reaction other than, well, that's why you're 5'10" then. Because I mean, I'm tall, I'm 5'8", and I used to wear platform boots, and she towered over me. And the funny thing was that at the time my hair was like this and so was hers. So we looked like twins walking up and down the halls. It was really funny. Anyway, I digress. But that's the House 11 attitude. We don't see differences because as far as we're concerned, mankind, flora, fauna, life on this planet, we're all in this together. And no one thing can survive without any other one thing. So the Neptune in me wants to dream about how to make that better, how to share, how to improve things, you know. And I think that comes across in the way I teach my classes. When frogs sing, you've got to have your own voice. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what you do. I don't even care if you completely ignore everything I say and go off and do your own thing. The fact that you are here thinking about things, and I'm able to put that across to you and say, well, have you thought about this, that, and the other? Look into this, look into that. And if that gives you an idea to go, oh, actually, I'm interested in this, and go off on a tangent, then that's fine. I don't care. You have taken that moment to stop and think about how can you improve yourself, your life, your spiritual practice, your family life, whatever it is that it's hit home to you. Somewhere there is improvement and growth, and I'm happy with that. Of course, the first half of my house 11 is in Scorpio. So is it any wonder that most of my ideas and improvements and stuff like that come from witchcraft and spiritualism and things that I believe are inherent in everybody, like creativity. Everybody is creative. I have my old boss used to say to me that I don't have a creative bone in my body, and I'm like, dude, you make vegan recipes from scratch. And she said, yeah, but I don't do it myself. I follow a recipe. I'm like, that's more than I can do. You make it look nice. You make it look edible. You're good at it. You know, that's hello, Taurus. She was a Taurus. But that was her specialty, was cooking vegan food. She was amazing at it. That's still creative, but she couldn't see it as creative because as far as she was concerned, she didn't have a creative bone in her body. And yet she managed a learning resources centre that was so proactive that she got me in to teach teachers how to use things like Excel and how to use Word and how to use PowerPoint properly and how to not use death by PowerPoint or death by bullet point all the time and have other things, have other resources available to them. That's creative. That's problem solving, right? But she couldn't see it like that. So, hey, Amber. Part of House 11 is it's not just your sign and your planet placement. It's also how you take everything that you are, you have, you know, you create, you problem solve, all of those different things start to add up together. And according to what your place in the world is or should be, and whether you are fulfilling that to its potential, then has a knock-on effect to how much you can do in House 11. I was never able to do very much in House 11 when I was a teacher of teachers in a college. I taught computer science to teachers and students, and I taught art to students with disabilities. But that was kind of micro helping. That was kind of micro helping my community. Now that I'm doing my own thing, working on my own agenda in my own way with people who are in tune with what that agenda is and what I want to do and how I want to move forward, it works a lot better and I'm able to reach a wider community. And I feel more like, now that I run my own business and my place in the world as a teacher of stuff and not a bringer of knowledge, but an expander of minds, I guess. It's not that I tell you what to think or I teach you stuff. I show you the different things that are available and let you go off and learn it in your own way according to what you want. I lead the horses to water, as it were. You're the horses. But if you have your place in the world in order, you can really fulfill your potential to improve the society around you and the society that you are part of. And it's not only like with this group where I try and help you fulfill your own goals and your own ambitions and your own learnings by showing you how I do mine. But at the same time, I recycle stuff. I'm mostly vegetarian. I rescue dogs. I would never, ever buy a puppy. Never buy a puppy. I bought Maddie, but I bought Maddie from a friend who had rescued her from a home. So that was slightly different. They were going to send her back to the home, and I was like, no, you're not. I'll take her. But I work with foster. I used to work with foster rescues and stuff like that as a foster. That's how that's how Scooby came here. He just came and unpacked his suitcase and never left. That's how Gypsy started. She was a foster. You know, I would never, ever just buy a puppy. My cats came from a friend whose cat accidentally got pregnant. They thought she'd been spayed and she hadn't. I intended to have one of the litter, and she said there's actually two that were born together, wrapped around each other. It's the biggest of the litter and the runt of the litter. And because that's the only one that's left, you either take both of them or you don't have one. Because I'm not going to split them up. So I took both, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, I can't even say that it's like caring about things, because it's not so much. When you think caring about things, you think more of the cancer type thing where, you know, they have a love of animals, so they get into animal rescue. It's not like that for me. It's just like, if I can help, I will. It's more about helping. Yes, it's more about helping than caring. I don't do it because things pull at my heartstrings and I'm like, oh, I have to help. I need to do something. Oh, I'm just like, I can help. So let's do it. I can't help much, you know, but what is it they say? Like, for one, you can't change the world for every dog, but for one dog, you can change the world. It's the same for everything. You know, I can't change climate change. I can't change the ozone layer. I can't fix the pollution in the seas and all that. But I can stop using plastic straws and carry a metal one around with me, you know, and I have. I can do it, so I have. That's my little contribution. It's not the biggest contribution, but it helps. And that's what it's about for us. It's about helping. So, the book. Right, in keeping with its dual rulership of Uranus and Saturn, the concept of group consciousness implied by the 11th house can be understood in two distinct ways. Saturn seeks greater security and a solid sense of identity through belonging to a group, what psychologists label belonging identification. God. That was a drunken Friday night at the pub. So this thing where you belong to a group and you identify as the group because you're part of the group. What are we going to call it? Belonging identification. Yeah, that'll do. That did not take a long time to come up with. Being a member of a particular group, whether it's social, national, political, religious, etc., enhances the sense of who we are and gives a feeling of safety in numbers. The Uranian side of the 11th house represents the kind of group consciousness which spiritual leaders, mystics, and visionaries from all different cultures and times have repeatedly espoused. I don't know what that word is. Instead of the typical me in here versus you out there paradigm or self model, they speak of the individual's unity with all life, that we are part of a greater whole interconnected with the rest of creation. Mirroring the mystical perception of the unity of all life, recent scientific breakthroughs demonstrate the web of relationship underlying everything in the universe. For example, David Bohm, the British physicist, theorizing that the universe can be understood as a single undivided whole in which separate and independent parts have no fundamental status. It's a big one, but it's all about the whole it's like molecules. Molecules have individual atoms and stuff like that. Espouse, adopt or support a cause, belief, or way of life. Oh, right. Okay. So, literally repeatedly telling people, look, you got to be nicer to each other. That kind of stuff. Okay, thank you. A quote from Marilyn Ferguson: you cannot understand a cell, a rat, a brain structure, a family, or a culture if you isolate it from its context. So Libra is very much about picking the context. Aquarius is more about what is the context and how does the thing function within it. You don't take things out of context. How many Loish terms is that you're on now, Cody? She's filling up one a month with all her notes. And yet she sits there and goes, no, I haven't done any research. How are you filling a book a month if you're not doing any research, madam? Are you doing it after the classes? Because you were the one who came up with the PDF idea, aren't you? She came up with the PDF idea so that we knew what we were going to do before the class started, so that she could get her head around it when we did the chat and wouldn't have to take so many notes. You're adding things afterwards, are you? That's cool. Christmas party, everybody needs to get the books out. We need to see some of this stuff that everybody's been beavering away at. All year, you're all like, oh no, haven't kept up, haven't done this, haven't done that. Hey, Rach, haven't done that. And she's like, what are you on, 15 Loish terms for the year now? You've done more work than I have. You people. Anyway, back to House 11. Our identity has a much wider membership than the skin encapsulated ego is capable of admitting. So it's taking it from previous houses, the id and the ego, me, myself, and I, and all of a sudden, it's not about you anymore. It's about everybody. Syntropy, SYNTROPY, the tendency of life energy to move towards greater association, communion, cooperation, and awareness is the main principle on which House 11 operates. Having recognized ourselves as separate and distinct individuals, there is the call to reconnect with everything from which we've previously differentiated ourselves. So in a group of individuals, yes, we're all individuals, basically. We identify as being completely separate individuals, which makes a group of completely separate individuals. So we become a community again. Nobody said squirrel brain logic was straightforward, okay? Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Global village is a very key part of House 11. So is social consciousness. A society structured by the 10th house on certain laws and principles as found in the 9th house, what we learn from resolving conflict. Laws of society easily become crystallized and turgid, and invariably certain elements of society are favored by the system while others are repressed. Groups that feel neglected or betrayed by the existing system can often find reform associated with it in the 11th house. So basically, if you feel like you're being hard done by, come on over and sit with us. I'm just quickly going through this. See if there's anything else. Oh, 11th house is obviously to do with friendship. People are linked together through friendship, personal boundaries are expanded, and the needs and resources of others become even interwoven with our own. So it's not just about this is my best friend, this is my circle of friends. You become friends with people through common goals or common. Aquarius has one best friend and lots of acquaintances. It's just how we are. Whereas most people have several good, really good friends. We tend to have one friend and everybody else is just kind of there. I'd love to know how to do that. I'm trying to figure out how to do my research better. Oh, new notebook. I've done a lot for the class because I've been memory keeping. Ah, good. So you do the revisionist stuff where after you've gone, rather than looking at it all in advance, you read it, you do the class, and then later you come back to it and write down everything that you remember. Right. Introverts unite. Yes. Separately in your own homes on the internet with your cameras off or at least your sound muted. Exactly. Now you get that's house 11. Okay. That's house 11 to a T. So I've got a little bit here about my Neptune in the 11th. This book doesn't go into like Neptune in a particular house, particular sign in the 11th. It just says Neptune in the 11th. But it's all about existentialism. Existential psychologist Viktor Frankl believes that the desire to serve and help others doesn't require reductionist justification, such as that a person does worthy things because he or she is guilty about something else. So Pisces, okay, Pisces is the easy one because they're the martyr. Okay, they will sacrifice themselves to help others because they don't feel worthy to not do it. It's what they should be doing. They atone for things by helping others. Okay. It's like a spiritual, it's like karma. They treat service like karma. Okay. And since everybody has done a disservice at some point, it's their duty to do a service. Okay. It's point scoring basically, but in their head, because that's Pisces. So for Neptune in house 11, he sees service as a genuine way of giving meaning to life. In addition, caring for others can be the natural and immediate expression of a feeling of bonding and solidarity with a close community or family, Cancer, Libra, or it can be seen as a way of connecting with those with whom we share the planet. Neptune in the 11th house inspires altruism for altruism's sake. So you're not donating to charity to save on your tax return, or because you feel it's the right thing to do, or because you feel sorry for the dogs, or because, you know, there's always a reason, isn't there? I'm donating to charity because. Neptune in the 11th house doesn't need a reason. It just donates to charity. It's what they do. So you can see how that ties in with what we were talking about with me not seeing, literally not seeing colour or sexuality or anything like that. Race, I don't see it. I'm blind to it. But because I'm blind to it, I don't suffer from the nitpicky bits that everybody else suffers from of what do we call people with this colour skin? You know, we no longer refer to prostitutes as prostitutes, they're now sex workers. I don't see them as anything other than people who earn a living. They just earn a living in whatever way they want to earn a living, just like everybody else does. It just happens that the way they're trying to earn a living is not something that everybody would want to do, but then nor is my job. Not everybody wants to be a teacher either. Some people are forced into it, which is wrong, of course, but some people are forced into becoming priests or nuns or whatever, you know. I don't see them as any different. I can't understand why other people see it as different. I genuinely don't get it, which is what gets me in trouble when I'm trying to explain things, but be aware of, you know, what do they call it? Political correctness. Political correctness drives me mad, because you shouldn't need political correctness to just look at somebody and go, oh, it's another person. Where is the common denominator, you know? I don't. Anyway. Albert Einstein summed up the challenge of this placement when he said that our task must be to free ourselves from the prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living things. Galileo, Neptune in Gemini in the 11th, undermined the very foundation of the establishment of the church and science with all his research. And Alexander Fleming developed life-saving drugs, drug penicillin, had Neptune in the 11th ruling healing and caring Pisces in the 10th house of career. So you can see how it links back. So my 10th house is Saturn, Capricorn. Is it? What's my 10th house? Oh, I can't remember. I can never remember my own flipping chart. Let me get my chart out. Where's my 10th house? How can you not remember your own chart? I've just got a blank on it. I know what it means and I know what it is. I just can't remember what it's actually called. Here we go. What is it? 10th house, Libra. There we go. Leveling the playing field with Uranus in there. So that's all connected together. I've been doing this for 20 years and I cannot remember my own chart. Yeah, I think it's because I look at too many. Matthew can never remember his either. So I have Uranus that rules house 11 in my 10th house, which governs my place in the world, in Libra. So I've got a double whammy there, as I call it, because I've not only got the drive that my place in the world is to advance disadvantaged whatever with technology and social structure and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I then want to bring all this to light, do lots of research, use the dark side to fight against it, to improve it in the 11th house using Neptune, dreams, and in Sagittarius, goals to achieve what I want. Does that make sense? So you're following that? I deliberately used my own chart to explain this because my chart just makes sense to do it. I'm living my 10th. Actually, I'm living most of my chart now. I don't know about the 12th house. My 12th house is a bit of a mystery. I don't think I've got quite there yet. 12th house obviously is Pisces, spirituality and psychic intuition and all that. I think I'm getting there. I think I've started because I've got my 11th, because again, it's a knock-on effect because I've got my 9th house, or I've learned all these, made all these discoveries, then I implement them in my place in the world. I've fulfilled my potential, not fulfilled my potential, but I've reached the point where I'm at the place in the world I want to be. So now I'm able to do stuff in my 11th house that is really in tune with what I want to do. And that is having a knock-on effect on my own spirituality, that I'm improving my own spirituality by helping others. Does that make sense? So it grows as you go round. Not living my Cancer moon. No. Hey, stop. Not living my Cancer moon. I'm not. My Aquarius sun and my Jupiter Sagittarius ascendant override my Cancer moon, on a personal level. So does the fact that I'm moving into my 12th house now. I'm getting there. The theory of reincarnation for the astrological plane is that you start off as an Aries. Once you've learned everything you need to learn about self, you move into Taurus. So if you're a Taurus, you're on your second incarnation. When you get to your third incarnation, you become a Gemini, where you're learning about things. Okay. I've gone all the way round to Aquarius. I'm almost at the end. I have one more incarnation, which will be my Pisces incarnation, which I learn all about spirituality and psychic awareness and all that kind of stuff, other realms. Like literally, if House 11 is about the world and the universe we live in and the world we live in, Pisces is about everything that's outside it. Heaven, hell, dreams, subconscious, who we want to be, our shadow side, all that kind of stuff, things we don't yet know. So I feel, for me, like with this, now that I've completed my 11th house, I feel like I'm completing my 11th house with this lifetime, and next time I'm going to come back as a Pisces. That's how I feel. And the more I go through it, the more I feel that. You're in 11th house too, which explains your dreams. Yes, you're starting to get that dreaming coming in. Interestingly for me, I'm kind of blocked off from all of that. But I know how to teach it to others. I know how to revive it or bring it out in others, which makes me wonder, since I'm basically a shield in this life, next life, I'm either coming back as a shield and I'm going to be a cult leader and you all better watch out, or I'm going to be psychic. I'm going to be a full-fledged psychic medium next time. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the people who are now fully aware, fully able to commune with spirit and commune with the dead, or whatever it is that they do, all of that kind of psychic medium stuff, maybe that's what you get when you reach that Pisces thing and you've fulfilled everything else. If you've come in as a shield, maybe being a shield and being able to cut off all that and teach it to others and pass on the torch, as it were, which is a key thing for House 11, by the way, passing on the torch to the next round of, here you go, you're next. Maybe that's where it comes in. Either you come back the next time as a House 11 Aquarian, where you're like Cody and you have prophetic dreams and you learn more about yourself, or you get to the next stage, which is Pisces, you come back as a psychic medium. So that's an interesting thing to look into. That's what I'm looking into at the moment, because that's really where I feel I'm at. I feel like next time I'm coming back as a Pisces. Do you think we only have one life in each sign? No, I think you come back multiple times until you get it right. I have a theory that perhaps retrogrades are things that you bring with you that you still haven't fixed yet. So something about my Saturn retrograde in House 5 in creativity, for some reason, there's always some work to do in the creative house for me, whether it's developing my own creative talents, teaching others. It's always about work. And somehow that keeps coming with me. Maybe that's something that I need to fix before I finish Pisces. I don't know. Maybe if you still have your retrogrades, by the time you finish your house 12, you get to go back to the beginning like Amber and start again. Sorry, you failed. Back to Aries. Who knows? It's all very interesting, but I did philosophy, so I'm very into that kind of stuff. Also, Neptune in the 11th house with Scorpio. Hello. Oh, here's what I was talking about with the goals thing. Some with Neptune in house 11 may chase a goal which constantly eludes them or even sets up a pattern of wanting things that is impossible to obtain. Again, through confronting disillusionment in Neptune's house, we're made aware of our limitations and reminded that something greater than us exists, which is running the show. However, it's still advisable that they offset the tendency to be vague and vacillating. Hello, party of one, about their direction in life by defining their goals as clearly and realistically as possible. Damn, I'm glad I've got Jupiter on the Sag on the ascendant, helping that Neptune out, because can you imagine what it'd be like without it? The squirrels will be running the earth, I'm telling you. Okay, so questions. Last night you dreamed you're in the 1910s, 1920s. You and your dreams, you're so weird. Do you keep a book of dreams? Do you write them down, or do you just remember them?
I write them down.
It's a good idea, because I really wish there was things that I'd written down back when I was your age. Oh God, I sound old. When I was your age, I used to think, oh, I remember that, so I won't write it down. And it wasn't until I hit my 40s that I suddenly realized that somebody asked me the name of my friend in primary school and I couldn't remember her name. I could tell you everything about her, can't remember her name. So these things do disappear. Your head fills up with all sorts of crap and the old stuff gets lost. So write things down. Even if you think you'll remember them, write them down. Put them into artwork, something that triggers your memory. In your journals, one was, if your chart has no planets in it, what might that indicate? Right, yes. There's an interesting thing in here about not having planets in a house, which is why I brought this book. Thank you. That was a timely reminder. I will have to find it. Hang on. Empty houses. Empty houses. Where is the bit on empty houses? Should have bookmarked it. Should have bookmarked it. I'm sure it was right at the beginning here. Let's have a quick look. Basic premises, blah, 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 blah. Archetypal expectations, blah, 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 division of space, yada, 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 division of time. This is a really good book if you're into this kind of stuff, I tell you. Quadrant systems, natural zodiac, fields of experience, houses as a process. Oh, here we go. This is similar to my thought. In a lecture entitled Creating a Sacred Philosophy, the psychologist Jean Houston related an anecdote about the life of Margaret Mead, blah, blah, blah. She followed everything from the calf being born right the way through to the cheese making process, etc. Dr. Houston laments that we are victims of an age of interrupted process. We turn on a switch and the world is set in motion. We know a little about the beginning of things, we know a little bit about the end of things, but we have no idea how to go through the middle. We've lost the sense of the natural rhythms of life. And then she talks about going through the houses as a study of nature's cycles and movements. The mechanistic worldview led to a belief that nature should not be could and should be controlled, dominated, exploited. Astrology came to emphasize prediction and outcome at the expense of the understanding of a deeper significance of things. Houses became described in key words. Rather than a process, houses are not separate, isolated, dangling segments of life. Conceived in their totality, they unfold a process of supreme significance, the story of emergence and development of a human being. Starting at birth from the ascendant in Aries, we are not even aware of ourselves as distinct from something else. Gradually, house by house, through a series of steps, phases, dances, and changes, we build an identity which can ultimately expand to include all of creation in House 11. We emerge out of that amorphous sea, like an amoeba, right? Take shape and then merge back again as spiritual beings in Pisces. Does that make sense? No. Bit beyond you. It's probably beyond your English, Risha. You'd probably have to see it written down. I will bookmark that and I will I'll take a photo of it and put a photo on the thing so you can actually read it. It's very different. I'm sure the people who speak English probably followed that quite well, but it's convoluted language for those of you who aren't first language English. But it's basically talking about what I was talking about. You start off in Aries in House 1. I am, but what am I? And then what do I have? And what do I learn? And what do I do? And what do I create? And how, who are my friends? Who are my family? Etc. Etc. When you get all the way around to House 11, you're at the point of how do I fit in with everybody else now? How does all of this work? And then in House 12, you become the spiritual being that you were meant to be, and you eventually go back into the primordial soup, as it were, as a spiritual being. Now, that might be a continuing cycle. It depends, you know, if your soul goes through all these incarnations, however many you need to do to get through the whole process, and then goes back into the primordial soup, it's no longer a soul. So bits of your soul would be reborn in other people. So perhaps the bit that has learned about how to teach goes back into somebody else who needs to learn how to teach. Maybe the bit in Cody that has psychic and prophetic dreams comes back in somebody else who needs to learn how to use psychic and prophetic dreams. You see text and images. You can follow something is because Cody was kind of moving her hands in a way that explains the text a bit. Yeah. Houses don't have any planets, are straight through processes, nothing added to, nothing removed from that process. Basically, yes. It's like a noun without an adjective. Yes. It's a house. It's not a caring house or a communal house or a religious house or a self-important house. It's just a house. There's nothing changing it. So my Scorpio House 11 moving into Sagittarius would be digging up dirt and finding things out and learning deep and dark mysteries and such, and then sharing them with the world. Okay. I would be a discoverer. I wouldn't be a teacher. The Neptune part of me digs up all this stuff and then says, how can we improve this? How can we make it better? How can we share this in a way that everybody will understand it, not just a few? You know, it's always about geared towards the dream. What is the ideal? What is the goal? Does that make sense? So the Neptune is qualifying. Is that the right word? The house or the sign. So if you have no qualifiers in your house is just a straight through kind of, oh yeah, well, we're in Scorpio. Okay, then let's dig some stuff up, share it with the world. Let's have a look at a couple of other people. Let's have a look at Jane's, because we keep saying we're going to do Jane's and we never get round to it and we're almost out of time. So let's do Jane's. Oh, that's weird. That's better. Okay, where's my screen gone? Nope. Hang on, I've got too many pages open. 1 second. Zoom. Here we go. Share. Advanced screen. There we go. There's Jane. Jane's house 11 is governed by Sagittarius, correct. Her house 10 is governed by Scorpio, correct. Her MC is governed by Scorpio. In actual fact, her house 10 goes from Libra here right the way through to Scorpio there. So it actually starts in Libra. Okay, so her initial reaction to what she should be doing in the world, what is her place in the world? Libra always wants to equalize things, justice, looking after the underdog, making sure everybody is fairly treated and all that kind of stuff. What better way to do that in Scorpio than by being one of those people who looks into the deep, dark depths of inside the body and fixes it? She's a health worker, she's a nurse. And not just a nurse, she's a counsellor. So she's got psychology there. She deals with end of life stuff. So it's, you know, terminal diseases and stuff. Literally old age and death, which is as Scorpio as you can get. So her place in the world is literally digging into the depths in order to make everybody more equal, look after the people who need it, make sure that everybody is fairly treated, make sure that everybody gets the same opportunities. But she just does it in a health worker way, because for her, Scorpio is psychology and counselling and dealing with death and facing things that are coming up and terminal illness and everything else that goes along with it. Now, her Neptune, which is an outer planet, is at 27 degrees and her MC is at 19.5. So those aren't close enough. 8 degrees is not close enough for an outer planet, so that's not conjunct. However, she has this same Neptune in Scorpio placement. When we get to the outer planets, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, they're generational planets. Just from seeing that she has Neptune in Scorpio, I can tell that Jane is the same generation as me. We're approximately the same age. And her Neptune is slightly further back in Scorpio, so she's a little bit older than me, but not by much, because my Neptune is moved into Sag. So she's about somewhere between 3 and 5 years younger than me, depending on the ellipse. What's your date of birth? Where is it? 1969, May 1969. Yeah, so she's 2 years young, 2 years older than me, 3 years older than me, which makes sense. So Neptune doesn't just govern dreams, it governs the subconscious, which could indicate that's why there's the link with psychology and counseling and grieving and death and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that normal people can't cope with is what Jane deals with every day, and not only deals with herself, but helps others deal with it. So her place in the world is sorted. Now that she's got her place in the world sorted, she can move on to her House 11 agenda. Her House 11 agenda is here, Scorpio, Sagittarius, okay? Sagittarius, all about Sagittarius, shooting the arrow and seeing where it lands. Yeah, exploration, discovery, wider learning, greater learning and understanding. Not just Mercury, Gemini kind of, oh, I need to go and research this, I need to learn about this, but wider understanding of things. Okay. Now, what rules Sagittarius? Jupiter, right. And her Jupiter is in Virgo, conjunct Uranus and Pluto. Nice. So the thing that governs her House 11 of societal status is exploration, moving forward, making discoveries, greater understanding of things. And the way she does that is through, or how she implements that, is through her Jupiter in Virgo, but it's all retrograde. Look at, yeah, retrogrades. Look at those 3 retrogrades together. You have so many retrogrades. Oh my God. 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy cow. That's a lot of retrogrades. I didn't spot that for your Neptune as well. And your Neptune's retrograde, and so is your Mars. So your Neptune retrograde is really digging into not just the psychology of what happens when you die and how people deal with grief and how to help people through that, but also the disillusionment that comes from that in Risha, Rachel, good luck. She ain't technically minded, and she's already shared her chart several times, so check if it's in there in the first place. Not only the concept of dealing with somebody dying and how to deal with that and how to move forward, but all the insecurities that come with that through Neptune's disillusionment. What do I believe? Nothing shakes your core foundation and belief in who you are, what you're doing here, where you're going, and what happens to you after you die, like somebody you love dying. Nothing. They question everything, right, Jane? The minute somebody around you dies that you really care about, all of your core beliefs in what you originally thought happens, they either are shaken to their foundations to the point where you may even completely say, oh, well, I thought this, but obviously that's wrong. Or you go completely the other way and you become militant. Tends to happen with Catholics.
See, my dad died. I was 18. My dad died. His birthday was 26th of September, and October the 19th. So 26th of September, 1987. My dad has just had his 41st birthday. On the 19th of October, my dad, a strong man, he just in the March he had run the London Marathon, and he had died in my arms.
God, and that's very young too.
Awful. My mum was 39, my sister was 5, my brother was 16. From that day on, I've had to cope with my mum, who's never got into another relationship ever. It's changed my mum completely. She's a completely different woman, and it's changed my outlook.
Yeah,
on everything.
It would, because you at the time would have been mid-20s. So you at that point, as a teenager, it would have affected you on a more personal level. Your younger siblings probably very much felt, oh my God, my dad's dead.
My sister,
where's my dad? What am I going to do? Where's
my sister was only 5. Me being 18.
Yeah, I would think.
It's like I had to look after my mum because
you would have become an adult too early.
Very early.
And then that would have made you not resentful exactly, but overly aware of how fragile everything is.
Totally.
And you would have either gone to, okay, well, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to fix this in some way?
Yeah.
Or then what's the point? And at 18, you could have gone down to, well, screw it then. What's the point? Druggy, alcoholism, all that kind of stuff. Or you could have put on your big girl britches, looked after your family, and eventually gone in to help others deal with the same thing that you did.
Yeah.
You took path 2.
Yeah. I did do path 1.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Small period of time
for a bit, and then you went, no, this isn't me. Yeah, with all those planets in Virgo, your self-preservation would have
become a bit selfish and worries me. I did have that time, but
Moon in Cancer.
5 years after my
Moon
dad
in Cancer on the descendant, so very much that whole relationship of losing that key relationship in your life would have affected you it would have wounded you to the core.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But all of those Libra routines in house 8, with all of those planets, Uranus, the ability to become more communal and not separate self from society, but reintegrate into society. Jupiter's ability to look at the big picture and learn from the experience, and Pluto's wanting to change and not do that, all in retrograde, would have made you eventually say, this is not the way forward.
Yeah.
This is not healthy. This is not resolving the conflict, because that's house 8. Virgo never met a competition they didn't want to win. So your Virgo would have been screaming at you that no, all you're doing is drowning your sorrows. You're not actually fixing the problem. And eventually that would have come through to your Libra, which then says, okay, now I've learned from this. How do I help others? How do I right this injustice? I've lost my dad. I have a massive hole in my life caused by death and grief. How can I right this wrong? Because for you, you were the underdog. You were the one who lost something. And you took that and said, okay, I'm going to right this wrong by making sure that nobody else has to deal with this the way I've had to. House 10, learning about how to teach others how to deal with death and grief and loss and all of the stuff that you suffered out of the blue one day that you weren't expecting.
No, but yeah,
So then,
it's really, it's exactly right what you're saying. Yeah.
So then you've nailed that. Basically, Scorpio, Neptune, doing the psychology, doing the work. It's what you do. You hate the job, but you love it too. It's your place in the world and you know it, but you hate doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a devil's advocate point for you. But this is the interesting part, that your house 10 carries on into that Sagittarius. I think that's probably where you are. In fact, you probably are round about here. You probably hit that Neptune period of disillusionment where you were like, I got to get out of this because it's killing me. And now you've got to the point where you're like, hang on a minute, is there another way through this? Sagittarius at the end of your house gives you hope that there is another way to learn or redeem or share from all of this darkness. Out of darkness comes light, right? So up until this point, have you been seeing it as very much a dark thing that you have to do because you feel it's something that you should be doing because you dealt with it? And now you're trying to see it in more of a, but this is improving things. This is not only by helping others, I'm helping myself. And by showing people all the darkness, I can lead them through the tunnel to the point where they're able to move on.
I've got past that bit now. I feel like I've done that. I feel like I need to go on and do something completely different.
You're here then.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I need to do something completely different. And I have, like, I told you a couple of months ago, I have been looking at other careers because I'm now getting to the point where I can't do anymore.
You've learned and done everything you can do in that position is what your psyche is telling you.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, that could, who knows? But your psyche is telling you you've run that course. I would say you've probably hit your house 11. You've fulfilled your house 10, and you've now hit this Mars in Sag. Sagittarius, far-flung goals, wanting to explore and expand and discover new things. Mars, and let's do it right the fuck now. God damn it.
Yeah.
Right? Because Mars ain't messing about. Mars is like, there's a new water fight. Let's go do it. Yay. Right? So I think you're in that point of transition here where you haven't yet decided what this arrow is, but your Mars is going, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's ready for battle. But your Sagittarius hasn't fired the arrow to let them go yet. So your role at the moment, your whole of the 11th house is in Sagittarius. So the whole of your conscious view of society is to do with expanding, discovering, learning, growing, sharing. Mars retrograde, yeah. Because the Mars is literally ready to go, okay? This horse is ready to race and he is being held back. Retrograde. He is being held back. He's not ready to go yet. He wants to, but he can't because he doesn't know where he's going. You can't set your horse flying if you don't know where it's got to go, right? You got to put it in the right direction.
I've been thinking I'd like to start working from home. And I'd like to be able to do not what you're doing, but, you know, with my artwork, I'd like to be able to sell my artwork at home, from home, and earn a living that way.
Do you know what I found this morning? And as soon as I found it, I thought of you.
Oh.
It's funny that has come up.
Oh my God. Wow.
It's called Art Journals and Creative Healing, Restoring Your Spirit Through Self-Expression. It's by Sharon Soneth. I know Sharon. She's a phenomenal artist, and she's a really good, she doesn't do art therapy. She does proper counselling like you've done. But somewhere between art therapy and counselling and doing what you've done and what you're qualified to do, that's the thing. So this kind of stuff is what I do. Art journals and creative healing, even though I don't really consider myself being a creative healer kind of person, that is what I'm doing because I allow people to do that if that's what they need to do. If you added shadow work to this, holy hell. You could write this book in terms of shadow work. That's where you are. The minute I picked this book up, I thought of you.
It's just I was thinking about, yeah, I was thinking about maybe investing in an Etsy store and doing my animal drawings and selling them and doing it from home. Then I was thinking maybe I could go around to some maybe some care homes or some places where they've got disabled children and sitting there with art and
craft and therapy and all the stuff I used to do when I first started out. Yeah.
I just don't want to work in the establishment anymore. No,
you need to take all of the information that you've learned and put it into new discoveries. What can you do with that's Sagittarius, that's house 8. What can you now do, house 9, sorry. What can you now do with all that stuff that you've learned from Scorpio, house 8, on resolving conflict and trauma and dealing with all the problems that come with having other people around? The ultimate problem of having other people around being death when they're no longer around.
Yeah, I mean, because
and what happens after that?
Deal with a lot of people that have had, like, you know, stroke, heart attack, brain injury. That's not really, major
deep down trauma that can, I mean, we've all seen it with Tisha Moore, right?
Yeah.
She had 3 strokes in a very short amount of time. She was completely paralyzed down one side and lost her ability to speak. Now she's still struggling to speak. But I was just reading a post from her the other day where she said she's getting her ability to put words together in her head back so she can write again, but she can't physically write and she can't speak properly again. She's still having speech therapy. So what she's been doing is cutting up copies of her old journals to rearrange and use the words in there in her new journals. It's fascinating. But you have the ability to teach somebody how to do that. So, and if I've learned anything from this, let's be a stay-at-home artist thing. Yes, you can earn money from doing portraits and animals and stuff, especially if you're as good as you are. And especially if you can do people's pets and things like that, that's a big thing. You can earn a lot of money at that. But it takes a while to establish that. So you have to have another string to your bow. For me, it's been doing deceased pets and spiritual type stuff. I've always done that kind of thing, but I've only just got to that and been able to sustain that because A, I teach classes, and B, I didn't start out exactly doing just that. I started out doing what everybody was asking for. So having that extra string to your bow and taking all that knowledge. Are you familiar with Mickey? Do you know Mickey? Mickey Wilde? Go and look her up on Instagram. She paints animals, spiritual animals, totem animals, spirit animals, that kind of stuff. you could take some of the information that you've already got to do healing type stuff. So you would be painting and doing and you know, doing what you want to do, but you'd be able to integrate your spiritual stuff and your concept of grief and counseling and everything else and what people need, and put it all together into one thing. But again, that, I mean, that's a tangent, but having done this, trust me, have another string to your bow. I started off doing part-time work where I was working with disadvantaged kids, teaching them how to make art and keep journals and deal with trauma, but not in a, it was kind of like art therapy, but not in a counseling way. It was just more self-expression. So we taught them how to, I taught them how to write really bad poetry that they can turn into rap music, you know, that kind of stuff, and how to express themselves by cutting up bits of magazines and making truly awful collages that expressed how they felt at that time and that kind of stuff. And I did that for 5 years before I went straight into doing this. And I only started doing this because these classes were doing better than I thought they would. Anyway, besides the point. But if you ever want to chat about stuff like that and want to run ideas or
lovely.
ask for
Thank you.
advice or anything like that, just give me a shout, because I've been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, been doing it for 13 years now. And if I can be of any help at all,
thank you.
Give me a shout. So that's a really interesting chart, because that, like mine, shows that I am very firmly and squarely in my 11th house, moving on, I think now, ready to move into my 12th house next time. Jane is definitely in her 11th house, but only just starting. And all of these retrogrades, wow, that's a lot of retrogrades. You're going to have to take those into account, because that group is together and that group directly relates to that group. Oh, it was also trying that. So that would have helped. Oh, that would have helped so much. Look at that. The Neptune retrograde in Scorpio in the 10th house, being able to dig deep and look at disillusionment and dreams as subconscious and what really goes on inside people's heads and bodies, and do something with it. Trine, it's not a trine, it's a sextile, but it's still a good placement, working with Uranus in retrograde. So Uranus's ability to integrate into the whole and not advance society and technology, but use society and technology to help assist. Jupiter, normally very outgoing and gregarious and, well, hey, it'll be fine, taking a more backseat role of, it'll be okay, we can work through this. Let's, you know, discovery, self-exploration. Let's go on this adventure hand in hand together. And Pluto accepting change, but not sudden dramatic change, irreversible change. That cannot, you know, once some things change, what's that French saying? The more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, sometimes change is just, it's not really change, it's development. This is like hardcore, holy heck, you don't even know who you are anymore, let alone what else was going on with anybody else. And all in super analytical Virgo in the 8th house, learning to resolve conflict by looking at all the tiny details that go into all of this. Yeah, you've done house 10 to death. Literally. That wasn't even meant to be a pun, but you know. Really interesting chart there, Jane. We've overrun quite significantly, but that's okay. I don't care. Does anybody else? No. Any questions about House 11? I know we haven't gone through everybody's House 11, but you know, anything anybody wants to ask about? Anybody got like loads of planets in House 11? Anybody got more than just a generational planet in House 11? You have nothing in house 11 unless you're reading it wrong. Let's have a look. House 11. Nope, just Scorpio. That's more than enough. Your job is to contemplate the deeper, darker meaning of society and life, but do it quietly on your own. Introvert. What's Rachel got? No, Rachel hasn't got anything either. She's just Capricorn. Duty and responsibility within the societal structure. Little miss, I spend all day, every day looking after my mum in a care home where she's supposed to be looked after by somebody else. Cody. Don't you have something Jupiter retrograde? Yeah, Jupiter retrograde in Venus, in Virgo. So Jupiter in Virgo, we've already said Jupiter in Virgo, not just, oh, it'll be fine. Follow me. I know what I'm doing. But being able to look at all the little nitty gritty bits and bring them all together as a whole, that will be fine. And interestingly, that works together with that enormous thing you've got going on downstairs. Capricorn house 3, all the learning things. Your duty is to learn all the things, then learn all the things again, and learn all the things. And when you've learned all the things, you take them into house 4 and you change all the things, because learning all the things is never enough for an Aquarian. You've got to change all the things and readdress the balance. And that is sitting across from that Jupiter. Yeah, looking at all the nitty gritty bits and pieces. Your job is to change society from the inside out. You subversive, you. That's very you, Cody, actually. Looking at all the, like, I'm more, I think me and Jane are more public about our helping people in the world, being out there in the world, doing our thing, changing the community, helping the community, doing what we do. You're very subversive and introverted about it. You change things from the inside out. It's almost like by changing yourself and changing how you do things and move forward with things, you change society a little bit by changing yourself. Which is a very Aquarian way of looking at things, God damn it. That's loopy thinking. I understand it. Everybody else is probably sitting there going, what? But if you think about, if a group is made up of, we talked earlier about all the, when we do house 12, yes, Cara. Resha, put Cara on the list for house 12 because she's got an interesting house 12. When we think about the community as a whole, from an Aquarian Uranus house 11 point of view, yes, we're all individuals, and because we're all individuals and we're all completely different, that makes us a group of completely different people, but we're still a group. We have that in common. The thing we have in common is that we have nothing in common with each other. Therefore, we are a communal group. Okay? Squirrel thinking, squirrel logic. So if you are an individual that is part of a group, you're unique just like everybody else. Yeah, it's like for Brian. Yes, we're all individuals. I'm Brian and so is my wife, you know. All that kind of thinking. We're all unique just like everybody else. That is exactly house 11. So if everybody is unique, but one person changes, in theory, you've changed the entire structure. You've changed the entire group, because Cody changes something. That changes how she relates to her fella, her mum, her brother, the people around her, the community, us, the classes she takes, the jobs she chooses, the places she goes to get her groceries. One change has a snowball effect. It's the butterfly effect. Cody is using the butterfly effect to change the world. You don't like the fact that the shampoo you use is tested on animals, so you change that. That has a butterfly effect. So she's doing it the opposite way to me, really. I'm encouraging everybody to go off and change themselves as individuals. Cody's doing it on her own. She's like, I'm going to change me as an individual. You're not great at understanding Leo, so you need some help. Okay, very quickly. Last one then. We'll just very quickly look at Risha's, because she's been very helpful this class and helping people out with technology and stuff. Let's have a look very quickly at house 11. So your house 11 starts in Cancer, then it's in Leo, but it's completely empty. So she's got 4 degrees in Cancer, and then it goes to Leo. So it starts in Cancer. Hang on, I'm trying to find my button. It's hidden behind my camera. House 11 in Cancer. Starts in Cancer. So what's a Cancer first reaction to house 11? Community, loving and caring. Oh, house 11 Cancer is the acid trip. I love everybody. Everybody. I love everybody. I do. Everybody. I love you. I've only just met you, but I love you. That's Cancer in the house 11. Love everybody. I love everybody. I don't even like you, but I love you. Right? Then it moves into Leo. And guess who they love the most out of everybody they love on the entire planet? Themselves. Yes, exactly. I love everybody I do, and I especially love me. What is the most important thing for a Leo in a communal context? Leo. What Leo does in the community, what community Leo is in, the place it's in, the way it does things in community, because of course it does, because it's the only one that can do it properly. It's the can-do attitude. They're the PTA mum who's always there to help with the school fete. They always somehow end up being the person who's organising it because they're the best person to do it because they've decided they are. They're the person who organises the family holidays and trips and really is the one who works out what is going to happen because everybody is so disorganised and has no idea what they're doing. They're the one who looks at their community in class and actually has any freaking idea what we did in a class back in bloody May. I teach the class and I don't know. She's got it all written down. Because of course she has. Because she's Leo. It's what Leos do. Leos are creative and they problem solve. What is the problem? The community is a bit disorganised and wishy-washy because it's being led by an Aquarian with Sagittarius and Jupiter on the ascendant. So what is Risha's answer to that? Do it herself, because of course she's the best to do it because she's really good at it. Between her and Mika, who is house 10 Virgo, she lives to fix stuff. Her role in life is to admin people to death. She will have me organised if it kills us both. Oh, and yeah, Risha's a Virgo ascendant as well, so she's incredibly organised. So not only is she the best person for the job within the community because she is, she's also the best person because she's got the best plan, because she knows what the hell she's doing, Virgo ascendant, and she's got Sun in Libra. So on top of all that, she's the best person to do it because she's going to be fair as well. Where's your moon? Tell me you're a Cancer moon. Go on. Oh, your moon's in Taurus. Oh, so you're bloody practical too. Yeah. But that's you, Rish. That's you. That's everything we need to know about you in 4 things. Eighth house moon in Taurus. Ah, so Taurus, the house of quality over quantity. Moon, feelings. Eighth house, conflict and resolution. So how does she deal with conflict and drama in an earthy, practical, caring way? Her answer to everything is, let's have a cup of tea and talk about it. Let's fix this. Taurus are the fixers. Let's have a cup of tea. Everything starts with a cup of tea. Right, Rish? Everything feels better once you've had a cup of tea. They don't have arguments with people. They have cups of tea. Let's go over it over coffee. Right. Not taking any more requests now. So Cara, check me out with the bullet journal. Cara has put in a request for a house 12 because she has an interesting house 12. So I will put that in my book. I'm going to write it in pencil because I haven't got one for next week yet. Cara, house 12. Anybody else got an interesting house 12? Rachel, don't you have something in house 12? Aren't you a house 12 Aquarian? Yeah, North Node and Mars on the ascendant in Aquarius in house 12 with the North Node. So we'll do Rachel as well. That's for December's astrology. Oh, Katie has a busy house 12 as well. Put Katie on the list as well. You've got stuff in house 11, Mika. Okay, let's do Mika very quickly. I did say we weren't going to do any more, but Mika's been working really hard, so let's give her something back. So, Mika's Virgo in house 10. Let me get my screen. Here we go. Which has her organising all the things. And loving it because it's conjunct Venus. Where's my annotation bar? There it is. So, house 10, midheaven, her place in the world is changing things and loving it by getting people organised. In a very fair and balanced way. So this is interesting, actually, because it did occur to me, because I'm the kind of person who does this, so I always look for it in others, you know, it's shadow stuff. Are you creating more work by trying to be over-organised? That's me. I create extra work for myself all over the place. But Mika's house 10 says that while she might do that on a personal level, on an external level, she tends to be very fair and balanced. So she looks at things and decides, what is the value of this? However, she's got a square there with Jupiter, which tends to overdo things on her ascendant in school. Oh, same as me. Jupiter Sag at 1 degree. Oh my God, you're the same as me. Yeah, Jupiter in Sag on the ascendant, because it's 4 degrees away. So that's close for Jupiter. Jupiter makes everything bigger. And she loves technology. She lives for technology. She is the technology queen. So anything that involves organizing people by using a computer in order to change stuff and fix things is her jam. So this would be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that because she's kind of doing this part-time voluntary thing with me, now she's looking at it in a more balanced way. So for herself, she might get lost in it. She'd get lost in all the details. Virgos have never met a plan that they didn't want to replan, right? But the Libra in her is balancing that out and going, whoa, hang on a minute, let's put the brakes on because we're dealing with an Aquarian here. It's like herding squirrels at a rave. She's met my brain squirrels. They're interesting when they text her at 4 a.m. with an idea. Honestly, time is a relative concept in my house. So her 10th house is being fulfilled. She's computer analyst as well. So that's her job, is playing with technology to change and improve things, which she loves. Her house 11 is in Libra. So what does she do with that Libran energy that she's learning? I would say she's probably here learning about how to deal with that Libran energy, how to balance this out to make sure that it doesn't get to the point where I want to kill her, which is what happens with my sister, the Virgo, who just wants to analyze and organize me to death. And I'm like, I can't plan that far in advance. I don't know what I want for dinner yet. I'll tell you what I want for dinner when I'm hungry for dinner. Libra in house 11. So Libra in house 11, community and society, Libra, level playing field, right? And she's got Pluto and Saturn in there, in Libra, conjunct. Pluto, the one who wants to change things, presumably for the, not for the better, but for the more equal. Yeah, in Libra, not changing things for the better, but changing them for the more equal, which can include not improving things for the underdogs, but reducing things for the overdogs. Like, you know, if Mika was president, the first thing she'd do would be to cut taxes for the rich, to increase taxes for the rich. And decrease them for immigrants or something like that. You know, that's Pluto in Libra. Saturn working really hard at it. Trine, her place in the world, the North Node, in Gemini, relationships, what she wants to do is get to know people because conjunct the moon, she cares about them. She is the person. I'm the person who changes the world because I know the world needs changing. She's the person who changes the world because she cares. She cares about the world. She cares about things. She cares about people. That's why she changes things. And eventually that will move into Scorpio. See you later, Amber. That moves into Scorpio eventually. What does she do with all of that to move on for herself? Spiritual in-depth growth that will put her more in touch with herself, with her own feelings, with her ability to go deep and look at stuff from another angle. Scorpio is all about digging up stuff. So by caring about others, she's going to learn more about herself. Until all she does is look at the unseen and the deep depths of the dark and wonderful in house 12. Empty house 12 in Scorpio. Make sense? Interesting. Yeah, it's very you, Mika. It makes so much sense that you have Jupiter on the ascendant in Sagittarius, the same as me. I see it in you. when you were coming at me with all those ideas, you go off and you come back and you go, I've got an idea, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I've already thought of that. I'm already doing that. I just haven't told you yet. You know? And then she does the same to me. And I'm like, hey, how about if we do this? I could do with a list that, oh, I've already done it. It's here. We're both the same. We both do it. How interesting. Right. That really is it now. So basically, as admins on Trello, I have an Aquarian with Libra Ascendant and Cancer Leo MC and most planets in Earth signs, mainly Capricorn, Cody. Yeah. So she actually does stuff. She's the one posting all the information and stuff. A Libra with Virgo Ascendant and Gemini MC, you. Yeah, the people person who can get through people and helping people out and showing people where everything is. And Leo with Scorpio Ascendant and Virgo MC, Mika, who is like a powerhouse of, I've got this, don't worry about it. I don't think there's anything other than giving her a list and adding to the list of things that I want done. I don't think there's anything I've actually had to go through and show her how to do, or had to say, you need to do it like this. I've had a few times where I've had to say, don't do it like that because you're confusing the Aspie brain. The squirrels can't handle that kind of thing. And she's had a few times where the squirrels have escaped and she's had to gather them up and try and make sense of it. But for the most part, she can do it. She's just good at understanding the Scorpio in her. Hears what my squirrels are rampaging about and understands what I really mean. Her Leo is, well, I can do that. I can sort that. That's not a problem. And her Virgo is, I have no idea what she's talking about, but I'll figure it out. You know, I can do, I'll do it. And by the time I've done it and organized it and given it back to her, she'll have forgotten what she asked for anyway, but it'll be organized. Can I leave the meeting open? Yeah, absolutely. Right. Off you go. Oh, and she's temporarily, because Luna's busy doing stuff, temporarily we've also got Carol is helping Mika out with bits and pieces that Mika needs to do because everybody else is busy. Carol is the Virgo. Carol can do anything because Carol says she can do anything. And Carol actually can do anything. She's scary. Her chart's really interesting. Actually, it's still on Ning because she's in the class still, I think. Yeah, she just can. Mika's like, I can do that. That's her Leo. I can do that. And then her Virgo goes and figures it out. Carol's just like, I can do it. I'm here. I can do it. Oh, she's here. You should post your chart, Carol. And thank you for helping out. Between the pair of them, they'll have me organised by Christmas. It's quite a scary thought. Anyway, go away. Stop it. Right. Stop the recording. Stop the live streaming service.